So you've got a contract on your house and you're wondering about what to expect from a home inspection. If you'd like some home inspection tips for sellers, you've come to the right place, because that's what we're talking about today, and we're starting right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Harry Moore and I'm a realtor in the Washington, D.C. metro area, and I post new videos every week all about things real estate in the DMV. Phew! You've got a contract on your house. Congratulations! Now you can relax. Well, not quite yet. Once they have a contract, most people tend to lighten up a little bit. That's natural. And I'm not saying that you should keep your house show ready, but there are still a few more hurdles to overcome before you get to settlement. In this episode of the series on home selling tips, we'll talk about the home inspection. For many sellers, it can be almost as stressful as having their house on the market. Today, I'll share a list of some simple tactics that you can use to avoid potential issues and keep things moving along smoothly as possible towards settlement. If you'd like some great tips on other parts of the home selling process, from thinking about curb appeal all the way to settlement, then click the link above or check the notes below to access other videos in the home selling series. Enough of that, let's jump right in. Number 1, try to keep the house looking tidy. It doesn't have to be as spotless as you kept it when it was on the market, but don't let it slide back to the way you live normally. Spend 15 to 30 minutes of the morning before the home inspection cleaning it up a little bit. Remember, this will be the first time that the buyers have been back in the house since the contract was accepted. They'll be excited and a little nervous. You want them to be happy and feel reassured when they walk in the door. Number 2, people won't be surprised if you've started packing. Just try to keep the boxes away from the walls, especially in the basement and the garage if you have one. Stack things neatly in the middle of the room. Inspectors are usually more interested in the stuff that's along the walls, plugs and pipes and such. So keeping your things towards the middle will enable them to see what they need to. This doesn't mean you have to move furniture. Just don't have stacks of boxes backed right up against the walls. Number 3. Keep the utility area clear of clutter and easily accessible. A lot of times people have all sorts of things stored around the furnace and the hot water heater. Keeping those areas clear for the inspector so they can access those systems easily will keep the inspection moving along smoothly. Inspectors generally can't move personal items for insurance and liability reasons. If they're not able to access the major systems, then the issue of a re-inspection could come up, and you'd really rather avoid that if at all possible. Number 4, make sure that all appliances which convey with the house are plugged in and operating so that they can be tested. That includes things like the fans on fireplace inserts, spare fridges or freezers, other things like that. Number 5, this might seem a little silly, but make sure you don't have any burnt out light bulbs, especially in hard to access light fixtures. It'll keep the inspector from noting it in their report and suggesting an electrician come out to confirm the fixture is working. That'll save you a couple $100. Number 6, now let's talk plumbing. Make sure that your toilets are functioning properly. Often people get used to the personality of their toilets when they live in the house. The fact that you have to jiggle the handle, or that it's a little slow to refill, things like that. But the inspector and the buyers won't be used to that little bit of personality. Sometimes there's a toilet that doesn't get much use, maybe in a basement bathroom. Check it and make sure that it's working. Number 7, change your HVAC air filter and dust off the return grills. Dirty filters are a sure sign of deferred maintenance, and that's a big red flag for one of the most expensive systems in the whole house. Number 8, check the roof and gutters. Clogged gutters, or even worse, gutters that have plants growing in them, are not good. Also, check the roof for fallen branches and other debris. Number 9. Make sure that all keys and remotes are available and working, and that out-of-the-way places such as crawl spaces and sheds are easily accessible. It's human nature to fear the unknown. If the buyer can see everything the first time, they'll feel better about the whole house. Number 10. Provide any documentation for substantial upgrades or repairs and major maintenance items so that the buyers and their inspector can see them. That'll help them understand what you've done to maintain your home. A classic example is if you've had major work done to your furnace. The inspector might look at the outside of the unit and say, it looks old. But you might have replaced the heat exchanger or the condenser recently. That could influence their opinion about the remaining life of the unit. Here's another one. Sometimes sellers want to be at the inspection. That's generally not a good idea. The buyers want to feel comfortable in the house and be able to talk openly with the inspector and their agent about questions they might have. It's really very much like a showing. You want the buyers to feel at ease with the home. Remember, you want them to feel like it's theirs. I suggest that sellers plan to be out of the house for about 3 hours during the inspection. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But that's a pretty good rule of thumb. Here's a little post-inspection tip for you. Take a few minutes right when you get home after the inspection to check all the appliances, faucets, toilets, spigots, all the other systems to make sure that everything is in good order. You'll also probably have to reset your digital clocks on the microwave and your alarm clock, since they may have been testing circuits. Inspectors are professionals, but they're human too. Sometimes they forget things, and it's always better to nip those issues in the bud. So, you've gotten some great tips about how to prepare for the home inspection. If you've sold a home before, do you have any tips and tricks that were helpful in preparing for your home inspection? If so, please share them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and to learn some new things that I can let future sellers know about. Once the inspection has been finished, there are a few different options depending on the jurisdiction and the type of contingency that was negotiated. In the next seller's video, we'll talk about negotiating the home inspection. I'm Harry Moore with Keller Williams Capital Properties, and I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you liked what you saw, please mash that like button. Happy thumbs are most appreciated. And if you know someone who might be interested, please share this with them. If you want to see more videos about real estate in the DMV, then subscribe and ring that bell so you'll be updated whenever new videos come out. Make it a great day, and I'll see you again soon.